I'm going to get to see him do the character without all of that on. Like, how amazing is that going to be? And it was really cool to get to see that and to take that in. But at the same time, you're so in the moment that it's hard to like sit back and enjoy and watch. You're an active participant. So it's like I think back on the memory of it and I almost can't remember exactly what it was like. It's just kind of like, you kind of blur out and you're just like so there in that moment that you can't. You're not watching it. You're like in it. It's different.
Renzy, thank you so much for joining us today on the Movie Podcast. The show is absolutely phenomenal and you are so damn good in it. I don't know if you've been seeing Twitter already, kind of just blowing up by everyone just talking about your performance and how much they loved you on it.
Yeah, I've been sent a couple things here and there, some friends, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. How does it feel now? Like you mentioned to us already that you got to watch it with some people. What has been your favorite part of seeing people's reactions to the first episode? I
think it's like how surprised they are that it's kind of funny. That people kind of get a kick out of it and that there's some humor mixed in. I mean, it's a dark show and it's twisted in some ways, but it's also kind of hilarious and Oz is kind of hilarious. And so it's just fun getting, I think that surprising people, especially like, oh, like I actually laughed at that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, because you're right. When you come from something like The Batman, which really was serious and granted, but did have some funny moments, unintentional or intentional, to get something like this where, you're bringing this levity to it, that's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And also you can kind of feel the sort of collective edge of their seats kind of moment or the shock when before we cut the titles on the very first scene, when it goes to, Oz's decision making isn't the best. And so that moment is also really cool to get to watch people kind of react to.
Yeah, I think that really sets the tone for the show. And like Shay was saying, like, I think back to The Batman and I think like of that joke of like the thumb drive, right? Where it's like, there's like these...
Yeah, the way he looks back at him, yeah.
Yeah, just like those little moments in the show as well too, where you're like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Like,
right.
am I allowed to laugh at this, right?
Right, yeah. I think it has enough of them where people start to loosen up. And I love it. If they go into just a little bit of like, just an open mind, I think they'll find themselves enjoying it maybe more than they thought they would.
Yeah, so I'm just so curious, when did you join this project? So, we have obviously Matt Reeves involved, we have Lauren, we have Craig. Like, I'm just curious, what was that first conversation with them like about what your character was going to be, who Victor was going to be in this world?
Yeah, so the first conversation that I had once I'd gotten the part was with Lauren. I went to Warner Brothers and we went into her office and we sort of had to talk about what the entire season looked like and Victor's arc over the course of the season. And it was really exciting to get to find out that, that the character really is a really different human being by the end of it, and he's gone through some things that are going to fundamentally change who you are. And so just getting to embark on that kind of journey and kind of getting to take it all very seriously with the speech impediment and stuff, with the stutter, and kind of diving into that and figuring out how that kind of affected his psyche and who he is and his personality, all of that was very exciting. But those were the first few talks that we had there, were about a month and a week before we started shooting.
Oh yeah, and it's really interesting because you're fitting within the larger world of where Matt wants to take this universe, but you're also carving out a spot where you're like, listen, we're telling a little bit more of a more intimate story of like Batman could be doing his thing somewhere else, but we're really telling the story of these two characters of Oz, but also of Victor as well too.
Yeah, that was definitely part of the whole thing. Was like it's just a different perspective on Gotham. We always normally see it from Batman's perspective, which is, up above, kind of soaring up and looking down at the crime and kind of almost judging what's going on down there. And now we're kind of in it. We're in the underbelly. We're in the mud of Gotham, and we're looking back out at the world through it. So it's I thought it was really interesting, just a different angle on what on how we've seen Gotham so far.
Yeah, very true. Now, when you had that opportunity to watch The Batman when it came out in 2022, like, what was your reaction to it?
I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I thought it looked gorgeous. I thought the story was incredible. It took me, I think it was until the second time that I watched it that I was able to, because I went back a few times to the theaters to watch it because I thought I need to see this again. And it wasn't until the second time that I was able to follow every single moment, like, and then tie it back to what so you kind of, once you have a good sense of what the story is, you get even more enjoyment on the second and third watch, and it becomes even better. But one of the standouts from that movie from the beginning to me was Oz, was Colin playing Oz. And so, I remember while getting home, rewatching the scenes again, looking it up, finding out about the entire process behind the whole thing, being enamored by that. So when I got the audition to do it what was it, like almost a year later, or months, I forget how many months or years later, or a year later, then I was really excited about potentially joining and getting to be a part of it.
It's crazy because, I mean, I look back to watching that movie and us dissecting it slowly and being like, oh my God, wait, the Riddler was across the iceberg lounge this whole time. He was watching them from above, and you're just kind of picking it all apart. And I think when watching, because we got to watch the entire series, but we'll be spoiler free, while watching this show, the whole time I'm like, is someone in a scene that they shouldn't be? And I kept wondering that.
Right. I mean, one of the interesting things, even when rewatching the first episode, which is out now, so we can talk about, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah.
First episode.
The first episode, even then you realize that Oz has kind of been planning something from the jump. You know, when he goes over to try and make a deal with Maroni, he's totally okay if the deal doesn't work in that moment because he's planting the seeds to something else. And even still, the first episode's out now, and there's still seeds, you know, that are going to sprout, you know, as the show comes along. And so it's just this fun like chess game that he's playing where he moves and moves ahead, and then the question arises, what if someone's also kind of playing the game on the opposite side of that chessboard, you know?
We'd love to talk about just your first meeting with Colin. You know, we spoke to Cristin a few weeks ago, or a week ago now, everything's blurred. But like we spoke to Cristin, and you know, her screen test, he was not in the makeup. Was he in the makeup for you when you were doing your screen test?
No, that was one of the things I was most excited about. I remember telling my friends, like, I'm gonna get to see him do the character without all of that on. Like, how amazing is that gonna be? And it was really cool to get to see that and to take that in. But at the same time, you're so in the moment that it's hard to like sit back and enjoy and watch. You're an active participant, so it's like I think back on the memory of it, and I almost can't remember exactly what it was like. It's just kind of like, you know, you kind of blur out, and you're just like so there in that moment that you're not watching it, you're like in it. It's different.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very strange because like there's so much physicality to who Oz is, and so much of that is from how he looks. So I feel like it would just be so wild to see him do that voice outside of all of the makeup and the suit and just everything how he looks, because that's so much of that informs who Oz is.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. It was odd for sure. It was odd, and it's almost easier to do it with the makeup on because, you know, it's not Colin's face that I've, you know, respected and admired for so long and all the work that he's done. It's this other guy, you know, with a couple scars and you know, he might not be the prettiest to look at, but it's almost less intimidating Colin's face.
Oh yeah. When you're trying to build that relationship with Colin, like, what did you guys ever have anything you immediately connected on, like right when you met?
Oh, did we have anything we connected on immediately? We both
over time.
Yeah. We both watched like F1, and we both liked the UFC. So like we talked about that a little bit, but it was mostly I think it was mostly the excitement about the work that we were about to do. You know, we were both really excited about it and about the journey that we were going to sort of take on for the next 6 months. Ended up being more than 6 months, but that we thought was going to be 6 months at that point. And yeah, at the same time, you know, Victor and Oz meet on camera for the first time. And so it kind of made sense to limit, you know, this sort of bond and let that actually grow on camera. Why not? I mean, if you don't have to do as much work, don't do it. And so we got really lucky that I think between me and Colin, we kind of work the same way, and we think a lot of the things about the things the same way. And so we were able to kind of bounce off each other and have this chemistry that I think that I was really grateful for, because you don't get that all the time.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah.
You guys almost have like a weird Batman and Robin vibe in the show, because you really do need each other. And you know, you mentioned your first meeting on camera in this, and I'd love to go to that moment, because I just would like, what's Victor after, do you think? Because Victor, when we first meet him, you know, he's, you know, trying to steal stuff off of Oz's car. It's like it's such a wild moment, because Oz is just like how you're doing this to me, like, you know who I am type thing. Right. You know what I just did.
Right.
So I just love to know, like, what was your mindset in that moment, in that first meeting with him? Like, what's Victor after? Like, what do you think? Obviously, staying spoiler free, what is his ultimate like want and desire in this world right now?
And that first episode?
Yeah, like what's
just to survive, man, to get to the next day, you know? I mean, he's at that point he's basically living in FEMA camps. I mean, I know you don't know that, but that's kind of the backstory that's going on. He's living in FEMA camps. There's no sense of purpose. There's no sense of really anything. It's just, I need some money. I don't really want to be doing this thing, but this is the only way to go get a couple bucks. let's go do that. Sure, yeah. Do you want to join? Do you want to come with us? Yeah, we're going. Okay, fine, I'll come. And he does, and then he ends up being the one that gets caught up. Like in my mind, there was always like maybe the first or second time he'd even done it, you know?
Right.
And so it's just like, bro, what are the odds that I get caught up in this, stuff? And so it was kind of that. It's just survival. That's what his mindset's at that point. It's just get to the next day, get to the next step, get to the next breath, even in some moments. And so do anything possible in order to get to the next day.
Yeah, and you see that. Yeah, it definitely, like, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's definitely something that we spoke about too, that you feel like very green in that world, right? Like, definitely. You feel like you're just like, oh, like this is not something he normally does, and for him to get caught, of course, of all people, who's going to catch him? It's the Penguin, right?
Right, exactly. It's just I guess it just makes for good TV. Yeah. Good story.
Great interview though, I guess, for being part of Penguin's crew then. Like, hey, you can steal a car, so like, why not join my crew now?
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. I guess that checks off a bit of the resume, but
right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I guess it's I guess I wonder why Oz kind of keeps him around at the jump there. I mean, there's reasons that I've heard Colin say and stuff, and that we sort of dove into before we started shooting, even about why maybe the stutter in that moment is so important.
Yeah.
The sort of disability that Victor has with the speech impediment. Also, Oz has his own disability, you know, and they're both in the same neighborhood. He pulls out the ID and he sees where he's from, and so I think that in a way it's like, all right, well, for now I need someone to help me with the body. Just come do that, and then that turns into, okay, I need someone to help me bury the thing. Okay, come do that, and then I need someone, and then all right, maybe that's enough for you, and then and then there's give you a chance, basically. And
it's like a means to an end, and then eventually
he maybe finds the glimmer of softness in his heart, and allows the kid to, to tag along for a bit.
Definitely. Something we also really love about, when you come from the Batman all the way into this show, is that there's this through line of music that you have. In the first movie, you have Nirvana, obviously, and this one, you're in Oz's apartment, listen to Black. And I love that there's all that relative music happening for yourself. When you're trying to get in this character, were you creating a playlist? Were you trying to figure out what music Victor listens to?
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't, I guess, necessarily what music does Victor listen to. It was more what music gets me into the mindset that I need to be in for specific scenes. And there's definitely a playlist that exists on for certain scenes and for certain days, things that help me sort of just get a little bit more grounded and a little bit more I guess dark and a little bit more into that world. One of the things that I played every single day that we shot before I started shooting, just like kind of while I got dressed and stuff, which maybe sounds counterintuitive, but it was the Howl's Moving Castle soundtrack.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I would play. I don't know why that sort of just worked for me every day, kind of getting to a space of like neutrality, just kind of coming in from my world, coming into here, playing this beautiful music, kind of just breathing, letting go, putting on the clothes, and by the time that I was done with the music and putting on my clothes, I kind of felt like I was ready to then dive into this other world, and then there were plenty of things I was listening to along that to get me even kind of deeper, sunk down even more.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that soundtrack, but that's a cut that I'm like, that's awesome. We spoke a lot about, obviously, with Colin. You have some incredible other screen partners in this with Cristin and Deirdre. Like, what was this experience like working with them? Because you get to spend a lot of time with them too, and it's very different dynamics. Everyone has a very different relationship with Oz in this show. So what was it like building and fostering those relationships with the the other characters in this show?
It was awesome. It was incredible. From the moment that I saw Cristin in the table read, I was like, this is gonna be fantastic. I thought it was just so cool. Even the slight accent that she's doing, I was like, it's so cool how she's subtly putting it in there, and it's not as big, because they're not from the same place, Oz and Sophia, obviously. But it's cool that she's got her own thing going on. She's found her own little pocket of Gotham to kind of speak from. And then getting to share a few scenes with her throughout the show was so cool. I find it kind of funny, the scene when they meet for the first time, just how like uncomfortable Vic is in that moment. When I was reading it, I was like, this is hilarious. And then Deirdre, my God, is she phenomenal on the show, and phenomenal as a human being, and phenomenal, and just an incredible actress, really. I mean, every single take was different. There are times where I'd get slapped in the face and have no idea it was coming, just boom, get hit. Oh, okay, so that's what we're doing now. And so it was just fun. It was fun. You get to be in the moment. It makes you be present. It gives you the freedom to move around and to do things differently and to try things. I mean, it was very fun.
Yeah, you almost forget sometimes that there's a guy who dresses up as a bat in this world, right? Because you get so caught up in the family dynamics and the character dynamics of all of that, right? It feels so grounded, it feels so real and lived in, right?
Great, yeah. I'm glad you think. Yeah, that's how I see it too.
Gotham it's such a big place, and there's so many different characters that are running around that we hear about. who are you hoping throughout the show you would have bumped into as Victor?
Who am I hoping that I would have bumped into? Like one of the characters in...
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been asked that one yet. Who do I wish I would have bumped into? Well, just as selfishly, maybe Selina Kyle, just to say what's up, you know? How you doing? No, yeah. I would have, shot a shot, see what's up.
Yeah, why not?
Renzy, like we said, you're so damn good in the show. We love the show so much. We're so grateful for your time today. So thank you so much, and we cannot wait to see what you get up to from here, because you were just you're such a bright star in this show.
Oh,
so
thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome.